Okay, so today we got the car all jacked up and basically just going to change all the fluids, you know, engine oil, filter, transmission, differential, just so we know they're all good. Who knows if maybe some water got in there or whatever. So just for peace of mind, we're going to go ahead and change all the fluids in the car and give everything a once over underneath, see what we can see. After looking on the internet last night, actually, if you watched the last video, which I'll link up here, the reason the car would not start is because I'm a dumbass and overlooked something simple that I should have checked. So the reason the car would not start is because this wire right here, the remote wire for the starter, was not hooked up. Duh, should have checked it. I even made when I was editing the video, I even made a saw. It's like, oh, maybe the starter's not hooked up. And I didn't even go check it like a dumbass. But, oh well, all's well that ends well. So the car does turn over and it did start for a split second. So we're good there, happy with that. This looks like it's just, maybe just needs an alignment as far as that wheel looking like it was towed in. And then I'm not sure, I can't imagine that this is factory because I don't think that they came with spherical Heim joints on the tie rod ends. I can't say for sure, I don't know much about these cars, but that to me does not look factory. So we're going to go ahead and get the fluids all changed up here and then can continue moving on, and I'll take you up to underneath the car once I get the front plate off and see what it looks like. Alright, so all we did was take the skid plate off and we already found something weird. I don't know if this is factory. Like I said, I don't know much about these cars really, but this is gotta be probably one of the, let's see if I can get in here, the weirdest drain plugs I've ever seen. It looks like it's just a valve and you just switch the valve on and it drains the oil. Clearly you can see that we're missing the headers and whatnot, but I thought that was kind of cool. I've never seen anything like that. Like I said, maybe they come like that from the factory. I don't really know. Somebody leave down in the comments down below if that's factory or if it's, I don't know, something weird. So we're gonna go ahead and get the engine oil drained here and check back in. Okay, so I got the oil drained. Unfortunately, it did look like before the oil started coming out, there was probably maybe 8-10 ounces of water, which is a little, you know, nerve-wracking, but I think we'll be okay. I probably should have stopped the valve when I stopped seeing water so I could examine exactly how much. Didn't think about that till afterwards, so what I did is I poured the oil into these 2 liters, so once it separates I should be able to see exactly how much water was in the engine. So now we're going to go ahead and I still got the valve open and it's draining, just kind of dripping down there. We're going to go ahead and drain the transmission and differential, which you do using a 10mm Allen socket. Alright, so I got the trans fluid drained and the differential drained. All that fluid looked good. I actually was able to get in touch with the guy that previously owned the car and got a little bit more information on it as far as how flooded it was. Shout out to Houston 86 Club, because through that Facebook page I was able to get in touch with the owner and I got a little bit more information, and sounds like we're going to be a-okay as far as everything goes. So I'm gonna blur out his license plate here, but you can see the where the water line came up to on the car. So that gives me an idea of how far the water actually came, which is good. So now I know exactly how deep it was, and all that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the trans filled back up, get the diff filled back up, and figure out, I'm probably gonna dump some cheap oil into the engine and just kind of give it a flush, and then probably put another thing of cheap oil in it and maybe just run it for a little bit once I get the headers and flush it again, just to make sure all the water is out. Yeah, so I think we're gonna be a-okay, and should be able to hopefully maybe drive it down the road as soon as I get the headers in, and button up a few things. I still got to put the nuts and stuff on the strut towers and stuff. So yeah, get that stuff filled back up and check back in here shortly. Okay, sorry I'm not showing you guys the process of pumping up fluid into the transmission and the differential, but I think most people should know how to do that if you're working on your car anyway. If not, you get one of these pumps over here that screws into the bottle, pump it up into the fill hole. Once it weeps out of the fill hole, you're good. Put the fill plug back in. I got some like cheapest oil money can buy, freaking $7 for 5 quarts. And we're gonna throw that in there, crank it over a little bit, and then drain it right out, just so we know we got some good oil in there, and try and get any residual water or anything out of the system. It's separated now, so you can see exactly how much water. This is everything that came out of the engine. Well, there's a little bit more, but this is mainly everything that came out of the engine. You can see this didn't have any water in it, and this is how much water was in the engine. So not a whole lot, but just enough to where we're going to be extra precautious and go ahead and flush some new oil through it before I put the more expensive oil and new filter on. So I got the fuel pump relay pulled, and really should be all I need pulled. We'll go ahead and put the injector, yeah, we'll leave that out. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill this up right quick and then hook up the battery, and next thing you know, we'll be in the car cranking it over. Got all 5 quarts of oil in. It's about, I don't know, between the 2 dots right in the halfway mark. We're not worried about having a full oil, we're just trying to flush it. So I got the battery already hooked up, got the key. I put the seat in yesterday because I was tired of sitting on the ground. It was being a pain in the ass. So we're gonna go ahead and hop in here. And show you guys that this thing actually cranks today. I don't know where I can put you really. Let's see about maybe putting you back here. Hopefully you guys can see all right. All right, here we go. Turn it off for a sec. Yeah, there must still be some residual fuel because it was wanting to turn over there. Which is a good sign. Means we got spark, means we got all that jazz. So once we get the header, we should just be able to fire this thing right up. Alright, I'm gonna do this probably 2-3 more times, just to get some oil running, some good oil running through the engine, and then we'll go ahead and just drain it right out. So I'll let you guys know when we get to that point. So we got her cranked over. We're gonna go ahead and throw our drain pan back down, grab our flashlight, and we'll show you this little valve down here in action, which after using it, this thing's freaking sweet. I would definitely see why somebody would put this on their car. So I'm gonna go ahead and set you guys up here. And just as easy as pulling this guy out towards you and turn the valve. and just letting the oil drain right up and out. Freaking sweet. It works so well. It's insane how nice it is to just be able to do something like that. Drains a little bit slower than, you know, pulling the drain plug, but it's also cold oil. So well, that's draining. Go ahead, come up here. So I think that's gonna be it for today, guys. You know, just get all the fluids changed and everything. Tomorrow we're gonna do a once over on all the suspension components and all that jazz. So stay tuned for that if you're interested. Be sure to comment down below and like and subscribe and stay tuned for more content, and we will see you in the next one.